fasting is a must for every Christian.
Yeah.
So considering the different things you talked about, those who have ulcer and then health challenges, you should know which one sits well with you. I mentioned the Daniel fast, the Jesus fast. Moses even did 40 days. And then Esther just 3 days. But tremendous, answer
Results
came
through,
immediately.
This is the Gospel Experience.
We still have Iyke in the building. Hi, Iyke. What's up?
Good.
You've listened to all of those people. First, I'm going to ask you, what is fasting?
Okay. Fasting, away from the whole religious exercise that we've known it to be, fasting is a voluntary abstinence from pleasures.
Oh, yeah.
Not food.
Okay.
Alone.
Yeah.
Pleasures, your phone, chocolate,
yeah.
those things that make you gisting, and the rest of them. So you can also take up a social media fast. You could take up a fast. Okay, you are not seeing friends, you are just there alone, you are not gisting, you are not eating. But because of the society we found ourselves, the moment you hear fasting, what comes to your mind is that, oh, okay, I won't eat between 6 and 3. You get. And then we also need to consider that okay, have we started the conversation already?
Yeah, of course, we are already in the conversation, but we are going to take it step by step, right?
Okay.
So you've answered the other part that I wanted to ask. Is it just about food? You've said it's not about food.
Not.
Yeah, so I was talking to somebody yesterday, and then I said to him, well, you know that you can also have a phone fast. And he was shocked. He was like, "What are you talking about?
Yeah.
How can I go about that?" So it's good that you've elaborated on that part. That is not just about food. Now the big question. Okay, so what you're saying now, the question I'm going to ask you now is, when you talk about fast, you've talked about social media fast, you've talked about food fast, you've talked about phone fast, you've talked about maybe not seeing friends as a thing around fasting.
Yeah.
Can you connect all of those different types of fasting to prayers? Can you make all of them? Can all of them have a spiritual connotation? We know that for food, I mean, we've connected food fast to spiritual activities already. that is on board, right? Yeah. Now, can we also connect the other parts? Can we also have a spiritual connotation to the other types of fast that you've mentioned?
Of course, yes. Because the whole aim of fasting is to open your spirit man up and then help you concentrate. I hope you know not only Christians fast.
Yeah.
One of these other religions.
Well, we're going to that.
Is a product of fasting.
Yeah.
So when you are fasting and then you are not praying like the woman said, you are not studying the word, you are open to anything, you can start seeing revelations and they are from the devil. And something else, another disaster will just come, like people of the other religion I'm talking about. I can't mention them, I'm on radio.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So every fast, Jesus was speaking, he said you can't serve God and mammon. What is mammon? Mammon is anything that takes the place of God. Not just money, not just food, not any material thing or whatever. So there are people who can't do without their phones.
Yeah.
Like this is January, not because it's January. I do it at different times of the year. There's no Facebook on my phone. I don't have any of those apps. I just got Instagram yesterday and it's leaving by the end of today, of course, with WhatsApp. Because I have to concentrate on what the emphasis of this season is.
Oh, wow.
So you can also take up you can take up a fast to strategize.
Yeah.
To put yourself together. That's why I said at some point you are not seeing friends, you are not gisting, all these unnecessary talks. So the whole aim of fasting is to make you concentrate. So if it's your phone that takes more of your time, you can fast from your phone. If it's food, you lock that kitchen up. Whatever it is.
Yeah. I have an app on my phone that tells me how long I spend on the phone.
Yeah.
So at the end of the week, it tells me, hey, you spent 2 extra hours. You spent 2 more hours than you did last week on your phone. Okay. So these are the apps that you spend There are a lot of people out there that also know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah. So,
I think
but,
I have one.
oh yeah. So my question, I think about it and then it bothers me just a little bit. Fasting, is it a criteria for God to hear your prayers and answer your prayers? Do I have to fast for God? I mean, one of the guys we spoke to. Meanwhile, we'll be heading to different streets, to talk to you. So we might be in your location any of these days. Yeah. So you get ready for us. Now, one of the guys that he said he doesn't have to fast. That he doesn't even tell people that you must fast for God to hear your prayer. He just applies his name and it's cool. As long as you have faith, everything is fine. So do you think you really need fast for God to hear your prayers? I also know, let me stretch this just a little bit.
Okay.
Considering the fact that at some point Jesus said that this can only go through prayers and fasting. So my question is, do you really need fast? I mean, there are a lot of people that don't fast but still have prayers answered. How do you put that together?
Okay. I want to quote the first question and then connect it to this. The first question was, is fasting a must
Yeah.
for a Christian? Fasting is a must for every Christian, for every believer. Now, the next question is fasting a criteria for God to answer your prayers? The answer is no. Yes. Because the whole aim of fasting, you are not fasting for God. You are not fasting to bribe God. The fasting exercise is for your own good, is for your own benefit. All right? So you are not fasting because maybe God was looking at the Americans, and the moment you started fasting, that caught his attention, and then he turned. No. That's not what it is. It's for your own benefit. You are the one who would have the time to get the things he's telling you. Like the woman was talking about, one of the women there was talking about how it helps to detoxify your body and all that. Yes, that's the physical benefit of fasting. So if while you are fasting, you are praying, you are studying the word, and that is happening to your body, who is gaining? Not God, it's you.
Okay, so we'll go to the phone line in a bit. It's been buzzing. People are. Okay. I know that people want to talk about this, okay. But sometimes some of these things bother me, and one of the things that bother me is the fact that there are people that have issues, with their systems. For example, somebody has ulcer, and a couple of other things. Somebody's on medication. Different reasons.
Yeah.
The doctor says to you, hey, don't fast. And then I think about it, and then there's the part that says, whose report will you believe? Is it the report of the doctor, or is it the report of God? And a lot of times people look at their pastors as messengers from God, which I believe is true. Well, then again, it depends on who your pastor is. Because there are people that have sent themselves. There are people that God sent.
Called God.
Yeah, there are people. Those are people that flash God. Yeah. So now it depends on who your pastor is.
Yeah.
And then your pastor is saying to you, today we are all fasting. And sometimes some pastors go straight to they go as far as saying, I don't care if you're pregnant. I don't care if you have ulcer. I don't care what the doctor said. We are all fasting. And through this fast, you're going to have your breakthrough.
Ignorance.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So we have all of those things. So put all of those things in the pack. Now, what would you say to somebody that has a condition that the doctor said, hey, you're not supposed to stay long without eating?
Okay. If you noticed while you were, giving those accounts, while you were naming those situations, I said ignorance.
Yeah.
There are different kinds of fast. So when somebody says, I fasted for 90 days, no food, find out what he's saying. If you check through the Bible, Genesis to Revelation, you see different kinds of fast that brought great results.
Yeah.
Daniel did a fruit fast.
Oh, wow.
Yes. The Bible says he said he will not eat of the dainties of the king. And then he was eating fresh vegetables. So he was that's how the fruit fasting started.
Here we go.
King Ahasuerus did what is called night fasting and evening fast.
Oh, yeah, I do that too.
You do that?
I
Don't
do
eat from 4 p.m., 5 p.m.
Yeah.
And that thing feels crazy. Yeah, it sounds easy, but I think that's the hardest part of it.
Exactly, because sometimes in your running back and forth during the day, you don't eat at the times when you say you're going to eat.
Yeah.
And then it slips into the time when you're supposed to fast.
And you've made a commitment.
Exactly,
already.
and you already have a commitment, and you're like, okay, here we go. Let's do this. And sometimes it looks like you're going to be so hungry, but when you think about the reason behind it, it just keeps you going somehow, right?
Okay, so let me continue.
Yes, sir.
There is also the Jesus fast.
Mm-hmm.
Genesis to Revelation, just 2 people did that.
Yeah.
Jesus and Moses. And now, in my church, for instance, my pastor says you cannot take up the Jesus fast except you bring the presence of the Lord and show it to us and we see it. Because the Bible says Moses was sustained in the presence of the Lord for 40 days.
Mm-hmm.
It was something extraordinary.
Yeah.
Man hadn't seen that before. And medically it's been proven that your body can't go without food and water for more than, I think, 40 days.
Mm-hmm.
You can go without water for at least 7 days. But you see people try to go without food and water for 30 days. You want to hurt yourself.
But what if they tell you it's a command from God?
They'll prove it to us. We have to hear God say it too now. It's not only you.
Now you're sounding like my dad. My dad would say, go and tell God that spoke to you to come and speak to me.
Come and tell us. Yes, that's the whole point. Okay, Mark 9:29. Jesus said, "This kind does not go except by prayer and fasting."
That's right.
Now we are witnesses. You don't know when you would run into such a case.
Yeah.
So if you are to live a fasted life, like we are taught, if you are to live a fast, how will you do it? Will you live like your whole year without food?
Mm-hmm.
No.
That's not it.
No. There are times of the year you can take up, say, okay, for this next 2 weeks, 1 week, I'll be on fruit only. We do that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
For 3 days, I'll go without food. There is sense. For 3 weeks, I won't touch my phone. Okay, I'll be with my phone, no social media, no. Those are still fastings.
Yeah.
The whole aim is that you can concentrate. You have time.
So it's not about God, it's about you.
Yes.
Wow. I think the phone lines have been buzzing. It's to go. Now, is it possible to fast and still not get the answers you're looking for?
Yes. Because at the end of the day, your motives are what will determine if God will do what you want him to do for you. Your motives are as loud as our voices are right now before God.
Yeah.
So you are saying, oh Lord, I need money. And then you are telling him, I need this money so that I can go to the orphanage and then pay school fees for 30 people. But he's saying that in your heart, you want to revenge your uncle, the one who didn't pay your fees.
Yeah.
And then another person is saying, oh God, if you give me this money, this my uncle will see shaggy.
Yeah.
And in the person's heart, God is hearing, if you give me this money, I just want to serve you with it. And probably that one didn't even fast.
Mm-hmm.
And God answered.
And God will just do
and
it.
you were fasting, but the motives were not right.
Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. So the situation is quite pitiable, as humans would consider you, but it's not reason enough for God to answer you because you are fasting. That was why I said that fasting is not a bribe. You can't use fasting to bribe God.
That means you can fast and not get anything
You've
from
not
God.
eaten for a few days. He has not eaten since he became God.
Oh God. Let him give us his last words first.
Okay.
Now you want to run it?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Now she wants to drive us away. This is my producer. All right, so
Okay. Finally,
yeah, my brethren.
still on my words,
Yeah.
on the way we started.
Mm-hmm.
Fasting is a must for every Christian.
Yeah.
So considering the different things you talked about, those who have ulcer and then health challenges, you should know which one sits well with you. I mentioned the Daniel fast, the Jesus fast. Moses even did 40 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then Esther just 3 days. But tremendous, answer
Results
came
through, yeah.
immediately. Only 3 days.
Yeah.
So it's not even about how
The
long.
length of the fast.
So that you don't go and hurt yourself and then they say, what killed him? They say he was fasting.
They will not carry you in wheelbarrow.
So remember this, my last words to you. 2 Chronicles 7 and verse 14. The Bible says, if my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear them from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very, very, very much.